Liverpool fans, big transfer news incoming. From academy moves to Salah setbacks and the final defender decision, we've got all the updates you need. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a Reds update. Inside global Liverpool transfer search and how Reds hope £3.5 million academy investment will pay off. Paul Gorst takes a look at two centre-backs who are set to join Liverpool and assesses why academy success isn't always measured by first-team minutes. While very few Liverpool supporters were concerning themselves with November's Under-17s World Cup in Qatar, those tasked with recruitment at Anfield were taking a keen interest. After watching runners-up Austria beaten 1-0 by Portugal at the Khalifa Stadium in Doha, Liverpool swooped to conclude a deal with Austria Wien for defender Ifeanyi Ndukwe. The 17-year-old will join the Reds this summer and is set to initially be stationed in Rob Page's Under-21 squad. Anfield insiders believe the giant Ndukwe has the potential to eventually be drafted into the first-team ranks, and while he is yet to make his senior debut for the Austrian Bundesliga side, he has featured close to 10 times in their matchday squads this season, despite not turning 18 until March. Ndukwe was captain at academy level and signed a 3-year deal with his hometown club in June of last year. It's understood Liverpool fended off interest from Serie A giants Inter to land the centre-back in a deal that will be worth around £2.5 million. Elsewhere at the Qatar competition, Liverpool sealed a £1 million deal with Senegal club Amite, which is owned by former Newcastle and Chelsea striker Demba Ba, for Mour Talla Ndi, who was able to make the switch this month after his 18th birthday last week. NDI, who was at the 4-1 win over Barnsley in the FA Cup on Monday night, is a left-sided centre-half and will go straight into the U21 ranks. He played in all 4 of Senegal's games in the Middle East, and his arrival will lead to loan opportunities for others in the current system, with Amara Nalo, in particular, expected to be the subject of interest this month. This, in turn, adds value and experience to those on the move. Both transfers were conducted by the long-serving Matt Newberry, whose job title at Liverpool now sees him operate as the club's Director of Global Talent. The promotion saw Newberry, who has previously served in various roles, including Director of Loan and Pathways and Head of Academy Recruitment, start in November of 2024. Liverpool also pledged to create 2 new roles at the time, with the club looking to recruit a loan and pathways lead and a performance analyst of those out on short-term deals. The idea was to keep closer tabs on the development and progress of those out on loan. As the United Kingdom prepared to leave the European Union at the end of 2020, a change to how academy transfers were able to be conducted post-Brexit forced clubs to alter their approach somewhat. Suddenly unable to poach the brightest young talents on the continent until after their 18th birthdays, by which point their ability would be more widely known, goes the theory, Liverpool's parameters were refined, and a focus on bringing in the best teenagers from the UK took on more prominence. That led to Liverpool signing the likes of Kaide Gordon, Ben Doak, and Trent Coney-Doherty. More recently, the likes of Nalo, West Ham United, Train Yoni, Leicester City, and Rio Ngumhoa have all been signed and have gained first-team exposure. Gordon was on the fringes of the Derby County first team when the Reds made their move in early 2021, while Doak was knocking on the door of the Celtic seniors before his move south in 2022. Scotland international Doak, who moved for around £300,000, was sold to Bournemouth last summer in a deal worth £25 million, meaning each first-team appearance was worth £2.5 million to his eventual value. It might seem like a cold and soulless way to view things for fans, but those tasked with running a football club worth billions are made to think in those terms. Jarell Quansah is a perfect example of both sides of the coin. Having made the breakthrough into the Reds ranks in Jurgen Klopp's final term, a season spent behind Ibrahima Konate under Arne was enough for the England Under-21 international to push for a move, and having joined as a junior, the Warrington-born centre-half brought in £35 million from Bayer Leverkusen, meaning each of his 30 appearances in the Premier League was worth around £1.1 million for the Reds. It would be fair to report that Quansah's move was arranged somewhat reluctantly at Liverpool, who ensured a buyback clause was inserted into the deal at around £51 million. Quansah, it is understood, has also agreed the contract he would be returning to at Anfield should the Reds exercise their option, effectively making it a long-term agreement from Liverpool's perspective, if he develops as expected in the Bundesliga. Jamie Carragher, who joined from Irish side Ringmahon Rangers as a teenager in 2015 for a nominal fee, was sold last summer to Brentford in an £18 million deal, earning his former amateur club a comparatively huge sum in the process, after a 20% sell-on clause had been brokered into the agreement over a decade ago. Carragher was another who departed with a heavy heart and the best wishes after playing his part in a side that won 2 Carabao Cups in 2022 and 2024, while also providing Alisson Becker with high-quality backup, making 25 Premier League appearances in the process. There were many, in fact, who felt Liverpool had undervalued the Irish glovesman after his move to Brentford, even with the fact that Carragher was inside the final year of his terms at Anfield. Despite that, it was a tidy profit for a club who had signed Georgi Mamardashvili to arrive that same summer to continue pushing Alisson for the number 1 spot.
Arne Slot already gave his verdict on laughable Curtis Jones' interest before $46 million transfer. Curtis Jones has reportedly been eyed up by one of Liverpool's rivals for a transfer, but Arne Slot has already made his feelings clear about the midfielder's importance to the Reds. Arne Slot described Curtis Jones as a complete player, making his feelings on the Liverpool midfielder clear as links with Tottenham have begun to do the rounds. Although Jones hasn't quite been able to nail down a starting spot in the Red side since breaking through as an academy graduate, he has established himself as an integral part in Slot's team, having made a total of 72 appearances since the Dutchman's arrival at Anfield. The 24-year-old, though, may have been surprised to see his name being linked with one of Liverpool's rivals this week, with a report on social media gaining a lot of attention. According to Paul O'Keefe, who has developed a reputation as an insider for Spurs, Tottenham had Jones on their list of midfield targets. He pointed to the fact that Jones's contract is set to expire in 2027, but also admitted that Spurs would likely scrub the idea of signing him now, having landed Conor Gallagher in a $34 million or $46 million deal from Atletico Madrid. There are plenty of reasons why Tottenham would admire a player like Jones, but the idea that Liverpool would let him join one of its Premier League rivals seems highly unlikely, especially given Slot's opinion of him. He has a lot of qualities on the ball, Slot said of Jones after he was called up by England in November 2024. He is never afraid to do something special with it, but sometimes he touches the ball a bit too much in my opinion, because he is so confident. But confidence is an important tool. He has an incredibly hard work rate, and we trust him in defense. He is complete. For him now, it is all about consistency. The best players turn up every 3 days, and that is what he's got to show. Liverpool.com says, whether Tottenham was interested in Jones is neither here nor there, really. There is surely no way Liverpool would have let him make the move to North London. Even before you consider how strange it would look to let a player join one of your rivals, Jones plays far too important a role in Slot's side to just offload him. That contract situation will have to be addressed soon, though.
Mohamed Salah's Egypt were knocked out of the African Cup of Nations led by Sadio Mane. Jamie Carragher has received backing from some Liverpool fans for his rant about Mohamed Salah after the Reds icon failed again on the international stage. The 33-year-old was unable to save Egypt from getting knocked out in the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations following a 1-0 defeat by Senegal on Wednesday. Salah's lack of an international honor with his nation persists in what could be his last realistic opportunity to win the winter tournament. It was an impressive individual showing from the Liverpool icon, who scored 4 goals and provided 1 assist in 5 games, but it wasn't enough to book a place in the final against Morocco. The defeat at the hands of the Sadio Mane-led Senegal side is another blow in what has been a disappointing season from the Premier League legend, whose career on Merseyside was thrown into doubt prior to AFCON. After getting dropped for 3 consecutive league games, the Egyptian blew his top after the Reds' 3-3 draw with Leeds United in December, where he claimed the club were trying to throw him under the bus and said he had no relationship with manager Arne Slot. His shocking comments not only led to his exclusion from the matchday squad for Liverpool's Champions League clash, but also left him facing the wrath of Carragher. The former Reds defender dedicated an 8-minute monologue on Monday Night Football to lambasting Salah's comments and branded his antics selfish. While some portions of the fan base backed Salah's right to speak his mind, given the enormity of what he has achieved for the club, there were others who agreed with Carragher's take that the Egyptian has had a tendency to prioritize himself over the team. The Sky Sports pundit reminded Salah that he is yet to win a major trophy with his country and should remember to recognize just how important his teammates are before going on a press tirade. It's a point that some fans have said proves Carragher's assessment right. Following the aftermath of Egypt's defeat, one ex-user wrote, "Mo Salah, with all his brilliance, did not steer Egypt to any trophy." Another claimed that Salah's game has drifted into finding success individually as he's grown older, as they commented, "As Salah's aged, he's gone the Ronaldo route, more focused on maximizing goals." A third user offered the most damning indictment of Salah's alleged on-field behavior, as they said, "As an Egyptian, I wanted AFCON for Mo Salah so he could be one of the greatest Arab players, but how can you be great if you don't run, don't defend, and act like you don't care? Look at Mane, he gives everything for his nation. I can't support a player who doesn't do the same." Salah has 2 runners-up AFCON finishes to his name, and discussing his lack of success with Egypt, Carragher said, "He's the greatest player his country has ever had in Egypt. Egypt and the Africa Cup of Nations are the most successful nation. Mo Salah has never won the AFCON."
Liverpool have made final transfer decision over defender. Liverpool have had a difficult time in defense ever since the offseason. Having first sold Jarell Konsa to Bayer Leverkusen for £30 million, Arne Slot was one player short in the centre-back area, and sporting director Richard Hughes attempted to account for that departure through the signing of Italian teenager Giovanni Leone. But the £26 million acquisition from Parma won't be available for the entire season due to a torn ACL on debut. Factor in the failure to land Mark Guéhi on transfer deadline day, and you can see why Liverpool have been linked with so many defenders in this January window and ahead of summer 2026. Joe Gomez linked with AC Milan. Then there's the problem at right back. Hughes decided to sell Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid last summer for only £10 million. He gave a new contract to Connor Bradley and also brought in Jeremy Frimpong from Leverkusen for £29 million. But Bradley's season-ending knee injury, combined with Frimpong's unsuitability for the position, means Liverpool are once again short in a key area. It's a good thing, therefore, that the Premier League champions opted to keep Joe Gomez around last summer. Liverpool will use Joe Gomez at right back. Gomez, 28, may have a patchy injury record of his own, but as a trusted squad member and utility player, he has certainly helped out considerably this season. Last summer, Milan were reported to have made an approach for the England international, but he ultimately stayed at Anfield. And as the January window opened, it was again speculated that he could be off to the Serie A giants. With a contract expiring in 2027, sporting director Richard Hughes might have felt that the club's interests were best served by getting some money in for the defender. But recent events, first over Leone and then over Bradley, have convinced the Reds to keep Gomez for the rest of the season at least. In Bradley's absence, Jeremy Frimpong and Joe Gomez can deputize, while Dominic Szoboszlai and Curtis Jones are able to operate there if required, a report from trusted Liverpool insider James Pearce in The Athletic reads. That would indicate that while Liverpool do not intend to cover Bradley's injury through action in the transfer market, they are willing to put an end to any speculation over Gomez's future by using him at right back in the second half of the season.